Alright, welcome back to Born Entertainment, guys. It's Vision here, bringing you another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the Aftershock April cover reveals that were released earlier this week. I'll be discussing my favorite comic covers from Aftershock and the comics that Aftershock puts out. So if you're interested in any of that, please stay tuned. Also, if you are interested in the content I put out, please hit the subscribe button down below and hit the bell icon. That way you'll be notified next time I upload any kind of comic content you're interested in. Now let's get started. Alright guys, so the first Aftershock book I will be discussing is Cold War number 3. Now Cold War is a new Aftershock book. That's the first issue is going to be released next month in February, but this is cover 3 of Cold War. I'm very interested to read this book. If you look at the description, it talks about how a company promises its customers life after death by freezing their heads until technology has advanced to make them free of death and so they can't die. Now, this is something I'm very interested in, and also if you look, it kind of talks about how they'll be engulfed in some kind of war that they did not ask for. So I'm very interested to see how this goes. This reminds me a lot of an Image book, The Old Guard, so I'm very interested to see how this book turns out. I'm very interested to see what the story is about, and I'm thinking that this is definitely one I should keep on my radar, and everybody else should. I think this book looks very promising, and one that will definitely be another Aftershock hit. Alright, so next I want to be talking about Baby Teeth number 10. This is another Aftershock book. I'm very interested to see where this goes, especially Baby Teeth. I was kind of late on the Baby Teeth book, but I recently got caught up, and I find this book very interesting and exciting. For those of you who have caught up with the recent story, you'll know that they have introduced the new soldier kind of character. I'm very interested to see how he fits into the story. I wonder if he's going to maybe rescue the group from the people Sadie's with or something, given his connection to the last Antichrist. I'm also interested to see Sadie and her mom reconnect and the story there with a new community. I am definitely a big fan of this book. I think it's definitely one everybody should keep on their radar. I do know that this is kind of a controversial book given the subject matter, but I'm definitely going to keep checking out this book. I feel like it's definitely one that people should be checking out. I mean, it might not be everybody's cup of tea, but it's definitely a book that I am very interested to see what they're going to do with the story moving forward. So, Baby Teeth is my second Aftershock book that I'm excited for the April covers. Next, I'm going to be talking about Animosity number 14. I highly recommend Animosity. This is one of Aftershock's best books, I feel like, right now on the market. Definitely one of the top 3 to 5 books I think Aftershock does. If anybody out there who has not been reading it, definitely go pick up the first 2 trades and try to get caught up, because I think you won't be disappointed if anybody likes post-apocalyptic books. You should definitely pick this one up. I know it kind of looks like a kid book, but there's definitely stuff, and it's definitely more geared towards adult readers. I feel like even though it is animals and not people, it's definitely an interesting book. If anybody out there watched the show Zoo, I kind of feel like it's kind of similar to that in aspect, just a little bit more with animals of more intelligent and kind of can talk, of course, but it's definitely one I feel like people should keep on your radar and should check out. I'm very interested to see how this new arc is going to go, and I'm very interested to see how the current arc will conclude this coming up Wednesday, because I feel like they've had such a strong arc right now, and I feel like anybody out there who has not been reading this book should go out and get this book. It's definitely one I highly recommend. So, yeah, Animosity number 14. I'm very interested to see this cover. I know there's not much kind of going on, but I really am interested to see how the story overall goes in this book when it comes out in April. Alright, the next Aftershock cover I'm going to be discussing is Animosity Evolution. This is kind of a spin-off book. It follows the main character from Animosity, Jesse's brother, Adam North. I'm very interested to see how this book turns out and how they're going to end up connecting it with the original story. I like how they're focusing both on the sister and the brother in both these books, not just random characters. I like how they kind of are building that up. I feel like this book definitely is another good, strong book that they are capitalizing, especially with animosity that's popularity right now, especially with how the last book is going. I feel like this is one book that'll definitely probably be a big hit for Aftershock. I'm very interested to see how this one and Animosity, the original series, are going to be moving forward once they end up combining kind of and connecting both the stories. I feel like this is kind of like to the Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, with this being like Fear the Walking Dead minus the time skip they're probably going to have to do in season 4, but this is definitely one book that I think, along with Animosity, people should keep on their radar and should check out. It's definitely one that I feel like definitely does not get enough credit where credit's due, because I feel like it's one of the best Aftershock books out right now. So I highly recommend this book. Go check out this and go check out the regular series Animosity, because I think you will definitely enjoy both of these books. So these are my next two Aftershock book cover reveals and discussions. Alright, so next I'm going to talk about Monstro Mechanica. I'm very, very interested to see how this book goes. I feel like it's just an average book for Aftershock. If you read the description here, it pretty much follows Leonardo da Vinci and his young apprentice during the early days of the Renaissance and the war at the time. I think if you're a history fan, it's definitely something you should be interested in. For me, it's definitely one I'm interested in, but I feel like it's kind of stale. It definitely is not as good as it should be, but it could be better and it could get better, so I'm definitely keeping my eye on this. I feel like, again, if you're a history fan, definitely check this book out. I know the first 2 issues are out already, and I think the third will be out earlier in February, but I am very interested to see how this book goes, and I'm definitely not going to just say it's horrible yet, because I feel like it definitely can be a great book for Aftershock, but I feel like right now it's just okay, and I feel like that might be how it just might be, just an average okay Aftershock book. So I'm very interested. I definitely say check it out if you're a history fan. So yeah, that was my next book I'm interested to see from the Aftershock April cover releases. Alright, so the last Aftershock book I'm going to be talking about is Rough Riders Ride or Die number 3. Now this is not a separate book from the original Rough Riders. They just kind of give a name to each story arc. I think the last one was Rough Riders on the Storm, but this one is Rough Riders Ride or Die, pretty much volume 3. I'm very interested to see this and see how this goes. I'm not caught up all the way with Rough Riders, but I'm very interested to get caught up and see how this third arc goes. I'm very, very, like I said, a history fan and a Teddy Roosevelt fan. If you're a history fan or a Teddy Roosevelt fan, or just a fan of this kind of story in general, a war kind of story, definitely check this book out. I highly recommend it. I feel like it's one of the overlooked books by Aftershock. People don't really talk about it that much. Definitely go check it out if you're a war fan, a history fan, anything like that. Go check it out. I feel like anybody out there who isn't is not really looking at it from a full standpoint. It's definitely one of the best books Aftershock does, so I highly recommend it. Definitely check this book out. Alright guys, so those are my thoughts on the Aftershock April comic cover reveals. If you're interested in any of these comics I talked about, leave your thoughts in the comments below, and let me know if you want me to do any kind of reviews or discussions on any of the comics I just mentioned. Also, stay tuned. I will be doing my thoughts on the Image April comic cover reveals, hopefully tomorrow, or early next week if I don't have time tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. If you're an Image comic fan, I will be discussing my favorites. Also, I do have my thoughts on the Walking Dead issue 178 comic cover, so go check that out if you're interested in The Walking Dead. This has been Vision with Blind Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.